So today we're off to the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. This for me is always a somber trip, a somber drive. I've been here many times. In the fall is the best place to go. You end up with beautiful scenery that simply looks like, fruity pebbles on a mountainside. The autumn leaf changes in the middle of October. Of course, if you're trying to get there in the middle or beginning or middle of October, I should say, definitely make reservations if you plan on camping because it does fill up. Now, I came up on a Thursday knowing that it wouldn't be completely full. Even that, I still did make some reservations. As I said, this is not my first time to the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. For me, it was a very therapeutic place. I had a cousin that moved to that town nearby called Wellsboro, and it was right in a time when a lot of things in my life were falling apart. I took the solace in going up there to Wellsboro, making a 90-mile trip, just a little under 2 hours, to drive on up for the weekends. And honestly, it was some of the best times I would have had in the middle of having I was in the middle of pretty much losing about everything I had, and a time that just before and leading up into the time I became a minimalist, when I realized a lot of the burdens, a lot of the baggages we experience in our lives are because of the stuff we hold on to. I started looking at this stuff, moving it from house to house, from apartment to apartment, filling up entire walk-in closets full of crap I had never really looked at. I started dumping things. I got rid of things. I made my life simpler. So simple now, I live in a van with very little. And honestly, I'm happier now than I ever was back then. But still, I made this drive up to Wellsboro several times a year, at least once a month, sometimes more. Went up to my cousin's house. We played cards. We enjoyed our time. And here in reality, this is a town you get to. Life seems to slow down. It's very relaxing. Nice little scenes on Main Street. And I gotta say, it is great to be back here for probably the last time in quite a while, as I'm heading west very soon.
Well, we've arrived here in Wellsboro, and I'm actually meeting my cousin for lunch, and that's going to be a little bit late, though. He's doing a presentation at his company, and so I'm just going to go ahead and walk around town a little bit. I'm going to grab a little bit of a snack, and then we will meander through town, and I'll show you guys around a little bit. So here's the Wellsboro Diner, nice greasy spoon down in Wellsboro. And right across the street from it, the building houses a big tourist sign on it. But this is the best gaming place in town, probably the best gaming place I've been to ever. It's called Pop's Culture Shop. A friend of mine, actually, cousin used to work here doing some things. They have Magic the Gathering. They have board games of every form, shape, form, and size. Alright, so here's one of my favorite places in town, Highland Chocolates. And yeah, I probably bought too much junk, but really good and really nice folks over there. They manufacture all their chocolate here in the factory in town, and they actually use people with disabilities are all of their employees. So, and the owner of the store drives ambulance, and just a really big community player down here in Wellsboro area. Really nice place, and if you're in Wellsboro, if you're coming to the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon, please stop by Highland Chocolates. It is an excellent place. They also have some gift shops and stuff as well, and here's a couple photos of what that looks like in there.
So now for dinner, we're going to take all these wonderful ingredients and turn them into a buffalo chicken wrap, and of course some coffee. I use these individually wrapped chickens when I can find them because they will last about twice as long in the RV refrigerator, since each one is vacuum sealed. If I can't find that, I'll just get the smallest pack I can and divvy it up, or you can cook it earlier. To make the marinade, we're doing about 2 tablespoons of butter, approximately 3 tablespoons of hot sauce and a teaspoonish or so of Worcestershire sauce. Not that I actually measure anything when I'm making it all in the pan. I just kind of do a pretty good job of, that looks about right. Throw in some diced garlic in there as well. Alternatively, you can just use some powdered garlic, but I keep garlic around. So adding in the Worcestershire sauce, we're going to mix that around. So that makes a wonderful marinade. So now we're going to put our chicken in there, stir that around, and we're going to cut the heat back a little bit. I'm disinfecting the board, so we clean stuff off with vinegar spray and a paper towel, and then sanitary wipes, just to keep things sanitary without using a lot of water. So here we're cutting down the lettuce and the onion, and I do miss making my solid tortilla shells, but it's just easier to buy them at times. Throw in my lettuce, throw in my onion. I like the raw onion for the wrap, and then we're going to throw on some shredded cheese. Just use whatever cheese. I think I have pepper jack going on here, which is a nice complement to the spicy buffalo chicken. And then, of course, we need to add some ranch dressing for our wrap. Our chicken needs stirred up a little bit. Once we do that, we're going to slice in our side, which is going to be carrots and celery stick. And sometimes I will buy carrots that are already cut. Sometimes I like just cutting them myself. So once the water is boiled off, we're just going to go ahead and add that into the wrap. And then I will utilize the amazing skill that I learned working at Taco Bell one summer. And we're going to go ahead and wrap this guy up just like a little burrito. And start in with the edges on the sides. And then pull the top up, tuck back all of the goodies, and then roll the sides in and give it a nice rollover. Yeah, I learned that skill working at Taco Bell one summer.
Well, it's morning over here at the campground, and as I knew was going to happen, it did rain last night. It rained right as I was finishing and cooking up dinner, and so I didn't do a fire last night, so I decided, well, we'll go ahead and do the fire this morning, despite the rain's best efforts of attempting to get everything all wet. I was actually able to get a fire going with only one strike of the lighter. So I'm just going to use that to cook with, and water is boiling up, so we're going to get some coffee, going to cook up some bacon and eggs, and then we're going to go and hike the turkey trail on the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. So I'm starting the hike down the Turkey Trail. This is about 1 mile. It is a very narrow, steep path. Despite being 1 mile, it's like hour and a half to do. And it sounds about right, particularly if you stop and take in the sights and such. So I'm shooting for about hour and a half. The trail is closed at part of the bottom due to some storm damage washing out one of the paths. And so we'll kind of stop there, and if we can see some footage, we'll take some footage of the damaged area. But basically, if the trail were open all the way, you can go all the way down to the bike path at the bottom of the trail. And you can actually, there is another trail that goes across, which goes up to the adjoining park, which is Colton Point. There's actually a little tiny trail right there, which I believe cuts off some of the distance, but we're going to stay on the main path for now. There's a little stream cutting right on through the trail. That's the trail right there. And right on down.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed the trip to the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. It is absolutely worth going to whenever you get the chance. Very nice place. Any time of the year is fine. In this case, I did this in autumn. You will see down at the very, very bottom there's actually a bike trail. It's a 60-mile bike trail going from Jersey Shore up into Wellsboro. I biked it a few years ago. Have the video around somewhere. Never released it, but it is a very nice bike ride all the same. So anyway, thanks for coming along on Tux Traveler. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already, and we will see you a little bit further on down the road.